I bet your metabolism's super slow. Let's talk about why. So as your doctor told you, you need to be on a thyroid medication. Let's talk about some of the things that you're doing in your life that can impact why you need to be on a thyroid medication. And maybe there's some things outside your control, but it's worth controlling the things that you can. So what happens in most people is it's stress. So cortisol floods the system and now your body is overwhelmed. And when cortisol floods the system, T3, it ends up slowing its temperature. When I say temperature, the mitochondria needs to run at a very efficient clip. And what happens is when you turn the temperature down with thyroid, it is telling your RPMs, they slow down and all sorts of smoke builds up. Going back to some of the analogies I've used in other videos, when that turbine slows down, you've got some serious problems that are going to follow. So what are the things that are most commonly causing stress? One, lack of sleep. So if you can turn that around tomorrow, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And I'm talking the restorative sleep. Number two, really intense training combined with work. If you're doing intense training and work, you will have very little success with lowering cortisol. And guess what happens? Some of the byproducts, obviously, everybody knows this, is you just store fat. It sucks. So making sure that your stress is handled well. One of our protocols, no matter what you do, walk after every single meal and make sure that you're lifting weights. And for somebody that's high stress, we may only lift weights once a week or not at all and just walk until we get those cortisol levels down. That way you have a chance of the thyroid performing at max capacity or heating up the system. Lastly, calorie deficits for too long. An ideal scenario where somebody goes 3 weeks a month where they're in a calorie deficit, but it's small calorie deficit enough that you're firing up AMPK, what clean the entire turbine room, make sure that that cell is functioning at max efficiency. The thyroid's going to have the perfect temp, everything works perfect, but you have to move out of that because you have to raise the temp every once in a while. And the best way to raise the temp in your thyroid is you got to give it enough fuel. So you take a week and you just increase the fuel. For, in my case, in a perfect world, maybe a man, 500 to 750 calories for that week. And maybe for a woman, 250 to 500 calories. Let's just rev up the engines a little bit, get the turbines and the thyroid heating up, move that turbine, your mitochondria, at a really hard clip of using fuel. If you can be able to move back and forth between fuel loads, not to mention fuel types, you've got the most metabolic flexible body ever. Stay tuned for more questions. Just reach out.